What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Sunday. Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice podcast on a Masters Sunday. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. We got a bunch of stuff to get to you today for a Sunday. I have an NFL draft prop that I've been waiting, and I am finally going to give it out because the juice is moving, and I don't want it to move any more than it already is. So we're going to get in on that today. I've got a final round strategy bet to give you guys here. I have a head-to-head in the Masters, and then I have an NBA player prop and an NBA parlay to give to you on the last day of the NBA regular season. So we are sprinkling. We're all over the place today on a Sunday. Starting next week, we're going to pick back up with the Sunday sessions where we're going to go through some of the things with the BettingPros app, some things you can design. But since today is a Masters Sunday and there's a lot of things to talk about, there's not really the time to do it today. So we're going to do it next week for the Sunday sessions. But yesterday, we unfortunately have another losing day, back-to-back losing days. The Mets did not go over, unfortunately for us. That blew the day because Volkanovski gets the money line. We did sort of hedge ourselves. Patty by knockout was covered by the Patty money line play, but unfortunately, Patty by submission does miss. So we won a half a unit, but also lost a half a unit. Campbell got smoked by Homa, so we wound up going 1-2, fading Max Homa there, down a unit. So 2-3 on the day, down 1.05 unit on the day. So still a winning week. And, well, we head to Sunday, and there's a lot to get to coming up on Sunday, a lot of good things to talk about and break down coming up on Sunday. Looking forward to all of them here for the Daily Juice. So before I give you some picks and plays, couple of quick things to remind you guys as to what's going on here for us with, where's that go? Hold on one second. There it is, the signed jersey for Penny Hardaway. That is still available. We're counting down the days here. That will be available coming up until March the 2nd. You must subscribe to the BettingPros YouTube channel and leave a comment on a BettingPros Daily Juice video in order to be entered into said podcast, or said giveaway rather. A lot of you guys are really excited about that, so keep on doing it. Make sure that you guys are subscribed and make sure you are leaving comments and videos, and that enters you into the contest. And it's always good to see when you guys are dropping things in. So also the BettingPros app, if you guys haven't downloaded it yet, I'd recommend that you do so. You guys can download it for free for iOS or for Android. For the apps with Sportsbook Sync, you can automatically track your bets across all major sports books in one place, in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. You can create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities, and get a 7-day free trial for the BettingPros app by logging on to bettingpros.com/apps. Use the code JUICE in the upgrade screen, and that gets you your free 7 days of BettingPros Premium. Great time to use it for the NBA playoffs. JUICE is the code after you download the BettingPros app and you go to the upgrade screen to activate your 7-day trial. Okay, so I'm not going to go in depth too much here, but let me just talk about Bryson versus Rory. There are a million stats about why Rory will win this tournament. And I'm not saying he won't win this tournament. I'm just saying that Bryson should not be a plus 250 dog. So in particular, when we have in-game betting available. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking a position here with Bryson. I'm not saying that nobody else can win this tournament, but it feels like nobody else can win this tournament but Rory and Bryson. They're not playing, this is not a skins game. This is not match play. This is a tournament. So there are more golfers out there who could potentially rise up and who could potentially win the green jacket today. It's not impossible, but you look at just where these golfers are and where we are from a leaderboard perspective. We have Rory at 12, Bryson at 10, Corey Connors at 8. Then we have Patrick Reed at 6, Ludwig Oberg at 6, Jason Day at 5, Shane Lowry at 5, Scotty Scheffler at 5, and Justin Rose at 5. That's your top 10. Zach Johnson is T10 at -4. You got a bunch of golfers who are at 4, but really top 9. Can anyone else besides Rory, Bryson, and Corey Connors win this thing? I really don't think so. If you want to sprinkle on Corey Connors 18-1 to win this thing, not a bad bet. Worth your sprinkle, okay? Corey Connors' top 5 is -360, so not a lot of value there. But Bryson has defeated Rory the last time we saw this at the U.S. Open. Rory has never won the green jacket. This would complete the Grand Slam. Rory had a lead in 2011, the 56-hole lead. He had it going into Sunday. He then finished tied for 15th. He imploded. Is that going to happen here today? No, I don't think that's going to happen here today. However, I picked Bryson on Friday to win this tournament. And so I think there's value with taking Bryson DeChambeau right now at +250 to win the tournament. And then at some point, if Bryson is tied with Rory or Rory is behind Bryson, we take plus money on Rory and we go plus. So this is more of a position play more than anything else. To put a flag down, take the +250, knowing that in game, I'm going to want to come in and I'm going to want to bet on Rory McIlroy to win the green jacket. So Bryson DeChambeau +250 to win the Masters for 1 unit, knowing that we're going to try to play off of it as the round unfolds. Now, one head-to-head that I like a lot, as I mentioned, can Corey Connors win this tournament? Yeah, he can. He's in a head-to-head up against Shane Lowry at Circa Sports, and I know not everybody has access to Circa, but go and try to find a Corey Connors head-to-head, and I think it's a great way of playing Corey Connors. I have him to come in the top 10 at +280 that I bet earlier. I bet pre-flop on Wednesday. But I'm going to come in with Corey Connors here on a head-to-head because it's not that expensive. Corey Connors is playing some really good golf. He birdied 10 on the back and parred the rest. Just steady Eddie, okay? He is 8 under, 68, 70, 70. For Shane Lowry, he shot 71, 68, 72. He is 3 strokes back of Corey Connors. And while Shane Lowry, I think, could have a decent Sunday, I like Corey Connors to really be a conversation piece here. So I'm going to take Corey Connors in a head-to-head up against Shane Lowry at -114 for 1.4 units. Okay, so our plays for today on the Masters. And look I'm going to do the full recap. I know that we've got a bunch. We lost the Homa, so we're down over 2 units for the Masters here. But let's see if we can make a dent in that. Is probably going to be a losing Masters, but let's see if we can make a little dent in this with the winner of this tournament and also with the head-to-head. So we're going Bryson to win the Masters at +250 for 1 unit. Corey Connors over Shane Lowry, round 4 head-to-head at -114 for 1.4 units. Now, 2 NBA plays to give you guys. Prop bet cheat sheet. Let's do one more, all right? It's the end of the regular season. Why not bet an over? Anthony Edwards, points and rebounds. It's set at 29.5. Minnesota must win today. This is a must-win game. T-Wolves win, they clinch a playoff spot. They don't have to play in the play-in. They are -23. -23. 23-point number. 23 against the Utah Jazz today. That is ridiculous. They're -4,500 favorites. T-Wolves are winning today. And when that happens, offense, scoring, Anthony Edwards did not go over this number against Brooklyn, but that snapped a 6-game-in-a-row streak where he finished with more than 29.5 points and rebounds. Didn't do it last game because it was 13, but 49-32, 39-33, 44-31 for points and rebounds for Anthony Edwards, going all the way back to the end of March. For Anthony Edwards, numbers 29.5 at -120. We're going over points and rebounds for Anthony Edwards in a must-win game for the Timberwolves. We're taking that for 1.2 units. Well, we're taking it for a half a unit, so 0.6 to win a half a unit. Now, 3-leg moneyline parlay. As I mentioned, T-Wolves have to win. Denver clinches a playoff spot with a win or a loss by the Warriors or Timberwolves. Timberwolves are not going to win, okay? So you can cross that off. These teams are all playing at the same time, by the way, so you have to worry about any questionable scoreboard watching. They're all playing at the same time, which I think is really smart for the NBA with the Eastern Conference going early and the Western Conference going late. So they're all playing at the same time. They're all tipping off at 3:30 Eastern time on the West. So Denver, Houston, LA, Golden State, and the Jazz at the Timberwolves all tipping off at 12:30, okay? So Denver at Houston. Denver is a 9.5-point favorite against Houston. Houston is already locked into their playoff spot. Denver's going to win that game. Minnesota's a 23-point favorite. They're winning at home against Utah. The question's going to be in the Clippers. The Clippers are on the road at the Warriors. They are 2.5-point dogs. But this is a playoff game, essentially, for the LA Clippers. And I think the Clippers are a sneaky team here in the West. They're a sneaky team that might wind up winning the West. They clinch a playoff spot with a win. The Nuggets and the T-Wolves have to lose. Just told you, I think the Nuggets win, and I think the T-Wolves win. So for that reason, the Clippers have to win. Clippers, go to Golden State. Clippers, money line. They get a win. That is a plus 183 money line parlay. We're going to take the other half a unit from the player prop, and we're betting on that. All right? Anthony Edwards, points and rebounds, over 29.5. Minnesota, Denver, Clippers, moneyline parlay is a plus 183 parlay. Half a unit down on that to give us some action here for the Western Conference. All three of those teams need to win to secure playoff berths. We're going to group them together, moneyline parlay with Minnesota, Denver, and the LA Clippers, moneyline at plus 183. Finally, man, I've been sitting on this. So Derek Brown, D-Bro, as we call him here with BettingPros, and I have been talking about Jackson Dart ever since the BettingPros folks came to Vegas for our team weekend. I'm a big fan of Jackson Dart. Been watching him at Ole Miss for a while. I really like his game. I think it translates really well to the NFL. And I've been talking about Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward and just the quarterback class as a whole and how I have not been impressed with the quarterback class. And so when I start looking at the NFL draft order and start looking at the players that should be available, I agree with Todd McShay, who believes that Jackson Dart at number 9 would be a gigantic pick. When D-Bro came back from the Senior Bowl, he and I were sitting down and I asked him, I said, where are you seeing Jackson Dart? Like, what do you think Jackson Dart winds up? And he said there are teams that he spoke to that believe that Jackson Dart is going to be a top 10 pick. Quarterbacks always go higher than they're supposed to. And you have a quarterback who is a big body who can move and run with a big arm. Kellen Moore has had that in almost every spot he has been at, whether it be Dallas, Philadelphia. He's had a big arm quarterback who's very, very mobile. At 9 for New Orleans is a very interesting spot. Pittsburgh picks at number 21. That's another interesting spot and a potential trade-up spot. Jackson Dart's number is 21.5 for his draft position. It was even money, 21.5 last week. And that's when I bet it. But it's minus 125 now, and that's where I'm going to give it out to you guys because I think now is the time to jump in on it. There are teams that probably would like to move back. Now, I don't think Jackson Dart's a top 5 pick, but he could be a top 10 pick pretty easy. Carolina could trade down. San Francisco could trade down. Quarterback needy teams could go up to get their quarterback for the future, and it very well could be Jackson Dart. Cam Ward appears to be going number 1. Shedeur Sanders might go 2, might go 3, might go 6 to Vegas, or might drop. And New Orleans very well might sit there and they may take Shedeur Sanders. But Shedeur is a smaller quarterback than Jackson Dart. He's not as mobile as Jackson Dart. He doesn't use his legs as much as Jackson Dart does. I've just been a fan of his. I'm a fan of Ole Miss. I'm a fan of SEC. Quarterbacks have been very, kind of unfortunately like ripped on from the SEC for a while. But Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl. I think Jackson Dart goes inside the top 20. He might even wind up going inside the top 10. Under 21.5 is minus 125 from a draft position. There's your first NFL draft bet for the upcoming NFL draft. Jackson Dart under 21.5. Caesars has this at minus 125. All right, so our plays for today. Bryson to win the Masters at plus 250 for 1 unit. We're taking a position there, looking to get Rory or someone else at plus money as well. I do think sprinkling on Corey Connors 18-1 is also a good idea. Taking Connors over Shane Lowry in a round 4 head-to-head at minus 114. Jackson Dart to go before pick number 22 in the NFL draft at minus 125. Anthony Edwards points and rebounds over 29.5. And a Minnesota-Denver LA Clippers moneyline parlay for today and the last day of the NBA regular season is a plus 183 moneyline parlay. Throw a half a unit down on that. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every single morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.